sabar. So sabar, like as I mentioned, there are more than 100 verses are talking about this sabar. So first of all, I would like to go deep into the meaning of sabar because let me tell you, being a student and teacher of Arabic language, so Arabic is an amazing language. Sometimes when you would like to translate some of the terms and words of Arabic and you use any kind of language, so this language is not able to give you or provide you a word that can give the justice to the word of the Arabic. And this is one of the words, like when we say sabr, so we always go and find out in the translations like patience. If I would like to ask you, you have a one answer like it means patience. But going into the depth of the sabr, and I will give you some places where Allah Ta'ala has used this word, you will find out this is a big blessing for our ummah. So the sabr is not only the patience, it includes the meaning of forbearance. It includes the meaning of endurance. It includes the meaning of, you can say, perseverance. It also has the meaning of restraint. And it has a lot of other meanings, but just in nutshell, I would like to give you like the summary. What does and sabr contains is it has the meaning like you are doing some very hard job and you are consistent and you don't give up and you have control on yourself and you are gonna finish this job before you give up on this job. So just to give you the meaning of sabr, it contains all this and also it has a passion, doing something with a passion. So we're looking at if we take one meaning of the sabr and go through it, it needs a big sessions just to give you the meaning. And just I would like to mention here, like going to the psychology and reading a lot of terminology there, and we find out they always talk about like be patient. Like one of the woman, she came to me and she said, okay, I'm done with my relationship. And I said, what happened? She said, listen, no, my question was, how long you have been in your relationship? She said, just 1 week. And I said, how did you get married? Like it was arranged marriage. So I said, excuse me, please be patient and give time to your relationship. And that's how we learn. And alhamdulillah, people here are with a lot of backgrounds, and we are not here just with a flick of eyes. Like we didn't get anything granted. Like we did a lot of hard work and we were patient in a lot of situations where a lot of people give up, and that's how we ended up here. So the thing is, the patient, when we see that they use this terminology and they use this mechanism in order to deal a lot of problems that are faced by the teenagers and also like the family system, like it hurts. Like we already have this, like good blessing of sabr in our religion. And just to mention this, like if we read Quran, and we know that in Makkah, while the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam he was in Makkah, basically like you find out the mechanism or the phenomenon behind all the surahs are like be patient. Like it was like be patient. Like when they came to Medina, the first surah that was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like we can say that we can put this a Baqarah that has the rulings. Most of the rulings are there. So if you go to the sequence, like it took me to explain Baqarah, like for only first juz, like more than 1 year. Like if you take 1 month surah, see that what's the relationship of this ayah with the ayah before this and the ayah after that. So if we read Surah Baqarah and we find out in ayah number 45, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is talking with Bani Israel, Ya Bani Israel al-Kuru, because they were the best nation before. And now at the time of Medina, when they refused the Islam, they refused the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, their preference and their fadila has been taken away. with the tahweel al-qibla, and then this crown is going to be placed to the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if we read, when Allah Ta'ala talks about the blessing that He has given in the past to Bani Israel, we find out that He started and He is saying that Bani Israel, don't worry, I'm going to give you with blessing and rewards and a lot of tests. Like uh, none of the life is complete, like none of the examination is complete. Like if I go to the university and they in the hall there are 100 students and they just go to the class and they come out of the class, there is no exam, there is no assignment, there is no project, there is no final exam, and they just come out with the degrees. So I will say that it's not fair. I mean that how we getting the like this degree when there was no test, there was no hard time. So the thing is, in this world, like if you are given a big responsibility and you are getting some rewards and blessings, there's gonna be some tests. So Allah Ta'ala addressed the Bani Israel, and they got test after test after test, and they failed. So before Allah Ta'ala goes into the details of giving someone responsibility, so if I give my kid like responsibility, he comes to me and he says, listen, it's kind of hard. Could you please give me some tools, some ways by which I can fulfill my responsibility? So I tell him, listen, ista'inu bis sabri was salah. That's why Allah started Bani Israel with a sabr was salah. The first thing is sabr, salah. I try to talk about the salah, but it also needs a lot of how can we face our responsibility and hardship with the salah. This is another topic. But the here sabr, and Allah Ta'ala is giving the responsibilities to Bani Israel. Like if you feel like you have hard responsibility, seek help with sabr. Okay, after Bani Israel is done, now is the time for the Ummah of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And now they are taking the blessings at that time. So Allah Ta'ala in ayah number 145, He starts, Ista'inu bis sabri was salah. Before giving the responsibilities to the Ummah of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, like we know that when it starts with the إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَ وَالدَّمَ وَلَحْمَ الْخِنْزِيرِ, and then ayatul bir, laysul birra bi an tawallu wujuhakum, and then we have a qisas, ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykum al-qisas, then we have a wasiyya, inheritance, kutiba alaykum idha hadara, then we have a fasting, that ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykum as-siyam, and then we have a hajj, al-hajju ashhurun ma'lumat. The list goes on afterwards, right? But we know that before giving these responsibilities to the Ummah of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Allah Ta'ala talks about if you need any help, like seek help of Allah Ta'ala with the sabr, with the patience, right? And then after that, He talks about the reality of the life. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ, and I verily will test you in this part of the world, like بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ, something of a fear, وَالْجُوعِ, some hunger, وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ, because we love money, like some wealth problems, like financial problems, and also someone our beloved is going to die, and also some fruits we're going to leave whatever we have in our business. So whatever we have, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is telling us how to respond to these problems, and that's how the psychology talks about. Like when you have a problem, sometimes you can't change the problem. What can you change? Your response to this problem. And if you believe me or not, if you have this ability to cope and respond to the problem with this all powerful belief, you will find out that how you can cope with a lot of problems. Like a lot of problems will be solved by just saying this. So وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. MashaAllah, we got this wording. If we heard like someone passed away, we say Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Like we face this and we say that we be patient toward this problem. So this was the context, and I told you more than 100 words to talk about the sabr. So really it's a big blessing with us. I think it's going to take more time, but the thing is there are three types of sabr. Three types of sabr, like when the scholars they talk about. The first thing is as-sabru ala ta'atillah. And this is the one thing we know that to be patient and to do the whatever responsibility you got, whatever action you are obliged to, you do it and be patient on this. Do you think that coming to the prayer, if your home is like 40 miles away and you are coming to the prayer, sparing some time, family time, sparing some other time and come to the masjid and spare some time and sit down here, you can do this without the patience? And yesterday was a storm and it's Michigan, there is a lot of cold and a lot of snow. People come to the masjid and spare some time, 5 times. It can be done without the sabar, like it's a patience, like it's the first type of patience. Anything you take, like you take the zakah, وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبًّا جَمًّا. We love money. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. After all this, we take this money, this reducing our bank balance, we are spending in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's take the fasting. Fasting is completely sabr, according to the hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Two basic needs of human being, like the food and the water, we don't touch it, even if it's halal for us. It's a sabr. We go to the Hajj, you don't go nearby your wife, and also a lot of restrictions there. It's a sabr. So I think that anything you can bring out, we can find out there is a sabr and there is a patience. This is the first type. The second thing is a sabru ala maharimillah. We know that this whole world is filled out with the temptations, and I have been listening a lot of questions, addressing a lot of questions from the teenagers. When they come, they say, listen, doing this sin is a lot of fun. Doing this thing is a lot of fun. A lot of temptations are back in this part of the world. So the thing is, if you don't have this concept, this is a type of the sabr. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you to not do this, so it's a kind of patience, like it's a kind of sabr, like to not do whatever forbidden for us. And the third thing is, whatever happens in our life, like sabru ala qadarillah or qadarillah, whatever happens with us, we just don't try to look through whatever is happening with us. Instead of saying that, oh, I'm the only one, and why all the problems are addressed to me. Allah means that a lot of things we say, like when we are struck with the hardship. So at this time, please, that's why I say that. When a kid of 6 years old, he comes to me and he tells me, listen, I love Pepsi. Why you don't allow me to drink it? I want to get this one. And you smile on him and you say that, listen, he doesn't understand because he doesn't have too much knowledge. He doesn't know what's going on in the world, and you have a lot of experience. Based on your experience, you tell your kid, please don't do this. Please don't do this. So what's our knowledge in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We want to get each and every answer from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, why is this hardship there? Like when I go to the university and there is a lot, like I have to spend like one whole week in order to solve a project. And if I go to my kids, they say, oh, you have been a lot of degrees. Why you are just like stressed out and putting a lot of efforts in this? So I tell them, I am looking something you guys can't look at. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has a knowledge, like we can't see through the knowledge of, like how much time did we spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reading the Quran to understand. So please, that's how they give the example. Like if you have a kid and you just throw him up like this, I know it's illegal kind of here. And like when he goes up, he's kind of panicked. He's panicked. He doesn't know what's going to happen with him. But the safe hands are waiting for him. So that's how, if you have a panic, you have a hardship, you should know that there is a Creator who created us, who loved us more than anyone else. If you have a problem, if you really find out, you go talk with someone, he's going to give you, like, a lot of times it happens, like if you want a new car, it's written in the decree that with this car you're going to have an accident, you're going to lose your both legs, so that's why you're not getting this car. A lot of people, they come to me and they say that, listen, I want to get married with this girl. Like you say that, okay, he's not going to listen, he got married, and then after that he got one kid, and they got into divorce. So the thing thing is there are a lot of things with the experience we know this. Like we have a lot of experience. So the thing is, whenever hardship comes, we should cooperate with the patient. We should cooperate with the patient. And the last thing I will end up with this, like in our family life, like if we have a patience like with our spouse, with our kids, and also like if someone is a leader, a lot of people they're gonna try to hurt you, but if you have a patience like Wabashir is Sabirin, this is the congratulations from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for whoever who has this good and very good attribute of the sabar. I make dua from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. He give us like this attribute and make us like our habit and give us the clear meaning of sabar in this word. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر